What's up, riders? Old Man Ronin here, and welcome back to the channel. Yeah, we're going to do something a little bit different today. We're going to be answering a few of your questions I've got on the Scram 411, so stay tuned. Yeah, they're doing some work there. Who knew? Apparently that guy. Well, you know what? One of the things I've noticed when I start doing bikes that have been really new to not only North America but to the world, and the Scram 411 is one of those. I mean, albeit it's been in India for probably what, 6 months now, and the rest of the world 3 or 4 months now. We just got it here not too long ago, but some of the initial questions I get aren't really from worldwide, and we're going to go over a few of those today. Hopefully I'll not only be able to answer in an intelligent manner, but also with my humble opinion. And the first question is this. Well, I got to tell you, it's not the same bike, even though it's based on the same motorcycle, because there is some strategic differences. And one of those differences is the smaller front tire and a little bit of change in the rake and the trail. And I'm going to put both bikes specs up there right now. You know, seeing the specs side by side, you can see they're nearly identical, except for a few minor, which can lead to major changes. I mean, a simple thing like tire size and a little bit of change in the rake and trail can really add a lot to the way that a bike performs. Now, is it better or worse? It's different, and I guess that's the best thing for me to tell you. It behaves slightly different. Now, I've mentioned it over and over again how this bike is fantastic on the road. You know, the Himalayan's great on the road too, but the Himalayan, where it shines, it's really fantastic on gravel roads. This bike does a good job on gravel roads. It truly does. And I'm certain if you put the 700 series tires on, like I have on my Himalayan from Shinko, or some really whatever brand you want to put on a little bit more of a 50-50 or a 60-40 tire, I wouldn't put a direct off-road tire on it like you have on a dirt bike, because number one, you're going to burn them out on the roads. But more important than that, you know, that's not what they're designed for. You got to have something that what they're designed for. And for me, the 700 series is a little bit better than the 705s, which is a little bit better than what comes on this, the Seats Gripper XL or the MT60s from Pirelli. If you saw the video on the Himalayan and how well it does on those 700 tires in the gravel, and off-road, I mean, I was crawling the Himalayan back through some deer trails, and I say crawl because I was either standing up and using extremely slow maneuvers, or I actually, when I had to make some hard turns, I would put my foot down to kick the tail end of the bike around to get around some obstacles. And this bike will do that too. I'm not saying it won't, but the Himalayan was literally built for that. This bike was built more on-road with a little off-road, and the Himalayan's built for all roads, no roads. And I guess that's the best way that I can describe it. So as far as which is better, there's really not a good answer, because they not only are they similar, but they also you know, they fit different needs or niches in the motorcycle world. If you're looking at a Scrambler, I would say this bike is better than any other Scrambler I've ever been on, simply because of its stance, the way it handles, the ground clearance, and pretty much everything that I mentioned earlier. So my next question is, personally, I would not, simply because you know, on the Himalayan it's great. This bike here, I don't really know if I need it, and that's the whole idea. This is more of a road bike that I would consider. Now, I have a center stand on my Meteor 350, and to be honest with you, I really wouldn't care if it's there or not. It's great for changing tires and chain maintenance as far as that goes, but I don't know if it's necessary. It's something that I wouldn't take off, but I wouldn't put one on. And that's the same feeling I get with the Scram 411. A center stand I don't think I would put on, but if it came with it, I wouldn't think I would take it off. It's just not a necessary tool for me. Now, I will admit, I have a garage full of lifts, and I can literally put this bike up on a stand or a jack or whatever and do what I need to do as far as chain maintenance. On the road, that would be a different story. That's one of the reasons why I like I love the center stand on the Himalayan, because if you get a flat tire on the Himalayan, you can change it with or need a chain adjustment or change the chain. Maybe you break your chain. You can do that easily. So, for me personally, on this particular bike, I wouldn't do it. Now that means that you might. There are advantages, like I mentioned, but I don't know if it's necessary on this motorcycle. And again, it depends on what you're going to do with the bike. If you're going to take this bike primarily off-road and do a lot of that kind of adventures, then why don't you buy a Himalayan? Does that make sense? What I'd like to say is this: you'll do your 70 mile an hour, and the more that you ride the bike, the more it's going to open up a little bit. But this particular motorcycle can get 70-75 miles an hour, and I've been able to hold it at 65 to 70 on the Himalayan, not this one, but for extremely long periods of time to get to different places. It's not built for that. No, it's only a 411cc engine, but it is capable. Again, if you're doing that kind of riding, is really a Scrambler in your sights anyways, because what you're doing is when you're going to a motorcycle that does road heavy as opposed to able to do both, then you're going to lose something in some place. Like, for example, if you ride the Scrambler from Triumph or Ducati, you lose a lot of that low end RPM torque. I mean, you just don't get it. So then you have to get the RPMs up there higher to get any power to go through the places that you need to get through. And in dirt situation, I guess that's why you see them all doing jumps all the time. Every time you watch a Scrambler show, they're not walking it through a woods. They're jumping stuff. I'm going like, well, that's not what I do off-road, man. If I'm jumping stuff, maybe I should be on my dirt bike. And I think that's something that maybe people forget. And to be honest with you, the fact that those bikes don't have that much travel in their suspension, why would you want to be doing that to begin with? Now this bike, you can do it, and you can do it efficiently, but again, it's made for more of that kind of stuff than those other ones are, because those bikes are going to be able to do 80 miles an hour on the highway, whereas this one cannot. But this one can negotiate the obstacles in an off-road situation better than what they can do. Yeah, they do better highway. This does better obstacles in the woods and on back roads and in gravel roads. Old Man Ronin, would you put panniers, engine guards, and windshield on the Scram 411? And they are available, and I know GV came out with a bunch of stuff, and of course I do know that there's a few dealers that are putting pannier rails and things like that on the Scram 411. I personally, on this particular motorcycle, since it's more of a Scrambler, I wouldn't mind at least one side bag. Something like a long ride bag, or something that that Royal Enfield sells as a simple one-sided bag. But as far as having a full pannier set on it, again, it comes down to what the bike is built for and what you want it to do. Now, this particular motorcycle, like I said, this is a true Scrambler in every sense of the word. And for me, I don't want all that stuff on a true Scrambler. Ah, here we got a deer going to cross in front of me. Let's see. Are you going to go, baby? Nah, you're going to go back in the woods. That's a good girl. That's a good girl. Let's see. Now she's going to come back out. Here she comes. Now that's true off-road right there. Well, you needed to get across, and you did. Welcome to Ohio in the middle of, well, this is October, so. And hey, you know what? It's been a really pretty day today. It's actually 54 degrees, and I'll put the centigrade up there, or the Celsius for y'all. But getting back to my point, I don't think I would. And again, this is a personal decision. If you want this bike to be a true scrambler, then I don't really think it's necessary. However, if you want this bike to be more of an ADV style bike, you can do whatever you want. But then again, why aren't you buying the Himalayan to begin with? To be perfectly honest with you, since I want as little stuff as possible on a Scrambler compared to my ADV bike, because I think this one in particular is where the Tripper should be, because you can use it in conjunction with your phone, with Google Maps, and you can actually keep your dash a little cleaner. And I think that's really a bigger factor for this bike than it would be on the Himalayan, because on the Himalayan I'm either using a Garmin or I'm using my Kalimoto app on my phone, and to be honest with you, I'd rather have that for when I'm doing trail riding or I'm running a route than I would be for just simply riding around. So I think the Tripper is a better addition to the Scram 411 than it is even the Himalayan, or yeah, even better than the Himalayan. Of all the ones that I've ridden, and I've ridden the Triumph, and I've ridden the Ducatis, and I've ridden a few other ones in there, and I've actually tried to make a Sportster into a Scrambler, this is by far the best one that will do what I want it to do. In other words, it's got the ground clearance, it's got the roadworthiness, but it also has the back road or the off-road worthiness of a true Scrambler. And like I said, you can actually go more aggressive on the tires on this bike if you want to make it more mud friendly. The ones that come on the seat gripper XLs are really good in everything except for mud, and they don't really clear the mud very well, but that's the tires, that's not the motorcycle. But as far as this being able to climb over small obstacles and get you back into places, I mean, it has the exact same engine as the Himalayan, so we know right there it's going to be able to do all the things that the Himalayan can do with as far as engine braking and things of that nature, and the brake system's the same and the whole 9 yards. Now, it does not have non-switchable ABS. I kind of wish you were able to switch off the ABS in the back, because sometimes in a dirt situation I like to be able to slide that back tire around stuff, and I think that's really the only thing that I can think of in a Scrambler that I would like. But none of the other bikes have that either, except for the Himalayan. But then again, it's a true off-road motorcycle. Man, is it beautiful out today. Nice early morning. This is a Saturday morning. I'm taking the bike back to mid-Ohio, like I mentioned, and like I said, we've seen some cool deer and running around and lots of animals. Almost had a buzzard poop on me. Nice. I know, right? I had a guy. Here's a question for you. Old Man Ronin, why do you giggle so damn much? I know this doesn't relate to the Scram 411, and we had a viewer, because I had a question or not a question, but a comment. A guy said, you giggle too much, I'm out of here. And my feelings are, man, what are you so unhappy about? And I actually had a subscriber respond to the guy saying, man, you need therapy, because this guy's actually having fun on his damn motorcycles. And I think if you're riding motorcycles and you're all about being serious all the time, stick to your car. Because these things bring joy to me, and if you can't handle some joy in your life, or other people having joy in their life, I don't feel sorry for you. I just don't want you around me. And I'll put a little sign up here with and I should have prefaced it, but I'm going to put a little poster here of what I feel about people. Go on, get out of here. Get on, get. I mean, isn't that true? I got a kick out of her two wheels. She made a statement here. It's been several weeks ago. I haven't seen her in a while. She's traveling everywhere, but she goes, yeah, I can always tell you're around when I hear you laugh. And I think, well, that to me, that's a compliment, because most of the time, unless I'm dealing with a-holes, I am happy and I'm giggling because I like having a good time. And when I'm on motorcycles, I'm really having a good time, so I'm laughing all the time. Or making goofy jokes or dad jokes or just stupid comments. And if you want a serious 100% serious channel. There's a million of them out there, these boring guys telling you this is a motorcycle that has 25 horsepower and I'm ready to go to sleep. I mean, there's a lot of that out there. That's not what we're about. What we're about is sharing the joy and the love of this, I don't want to say sport because it's not really a sport, but this lifestyle. And what motorcycles do to me. And I'll tell you, there's been a couple times in my life when I was injured, when I wasn't on motorcycles, and I was miserable, man. I was miserable. And one of the reasons I ride year-round is because it gives me joy, even though it's chilly and cold. Now today, I mean, it's 54 degrees like I mentioned earlier, in the mid-50s there, and I'm not a bit chilly. I've got this great jacket on from Olympia Motorsports and Motovon, and I mean, no wind's getting to me. My gloves are warm, even though any cooler, I'd have to break out the Kemimoto gloves. But I do have heated gear, and that's going to be another video coming up pretty soon, because it's almost time to break out the heated gear, baby. And if you notice, I'm running a fleece lined pants here from Rural King. It's a farm store that's popular here in the country, here throughout the eastern United States, and I really do enjoy wearing them in these kind of situations because they give you a little protection, but they also they're light enough and warm enough. They do break the wind a little bit, but when it starts getting down into the 20s and teens and zeros, then I'll probably have to break out the Olympia bottoms, and those are fantastic. It's just that, man, I like riding light and easy, you know what I mean? I do. I like riding light and easy. So for all you guys out there that are asking, yeah, that's coming. Cold weather gear is coming. Well, so far we've talked a lot about a lot of different things as far as the questions that I get, and I've got a lot more. And like I said, if you have any questions, put them in a comment below. Maybe we'll do another specific video on questions that you want Old Man Ronin to answer on specific motorcycles, because we'll try to get to each and every one of them if we possibly can. And also, I know I've left a few of them out, and again, if you think I've left an important one that I didn't cover, make sure you comment below, because that's the only way I know. You know, as I'm riding down the road here, I'm multitasking. I'm paying attention to all the dangers in motorcycling, but also having a good time and looking at the scenery and forwarding information to you guys, because that's what Old Man Ronin likes to do, in hopefully a joyful, jovial way. There you go, giggling again. What's wrong with you, you nuts? You're an idiot! Well, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you give us a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell notification button, share and comment. You know I read all the comments, and comment on as many as I possibly can. Until next time, guys, ride safe and keep her on two wheels, baby.